What's up guys, it's Trevor with Embers Living. Today we have a brand new top 5 video, new top 5 Kamados. It's been probably a year, maybe 2 since we've done this. We have some new players and we have some returning players. But I think the biggest elephant in the room is the Kalamazoo, the $12,000 Kalamazoo. Where is it gonna rank in the top 5? Only one way to find out. Let's go. All right guys, don't forget if you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you can come to our showroom where we have the widest selection of all things outdoor when it comes to grilling, I think in the state. Of course, I'm biased, I'm the owner here, so of course I'm gonna think we have the best showroom. Also, if you're not local, or if you're local or not, give us first stab at the business if you appreciate what you learn in these videos. If you learn, hey, I want a Kamado Joe because of Trevor's awesome videos, buy it from us. Helps us out a ton and helps us to keep making content, which our content is more educational based, but there's our little sales plug for you. All right, should we get down to business? So we've seen a lot of moving parts over the years with Big Green Egg, Primo coming onto the scene, Kamado Joe exploding during COVID especially. You know, really new products coming onto the scene. And so I think the dust has sort of settled the last few years as far as new stuff coming out, where I think we have a pretty good basis for some top 5s. So let's get into number 5. All right, coming in at number 5 is gonna be the Kamado Joe KONNECTED Joe. Now this made the top 5 because it's very unique in the category, I guess you could say. This would be like the smoker you want if you aren't very good cooking on ceramic, or if you want something a little more hands-off that you don't have to babysit as much. Now most of the time, once you get a good ceramic grill dialed in and you know what you're doing, it doesn't require a ton of babysitting anyway. But I would call this sort of the hybrid between like an easy to use pellet smoker and a charcoal grill, because we have our fan controls here, which is gonna control how much oxygen is pumping into our firebox. Does have some electronics in it. You can control it from your phone, and it actually does work. Show them some of the footage, Chris, that this actually is a little more automated than just your hands-on classic Kamado Joe. All right, so that's the KONNECTED Joe. So this, if you're really into technology, or if you don't want to be super hands-on with your charcoal grill, this is gonna be what you're gonna wanna look at. All right, should we get into number 4? All right, coming in at number 4 is gonna be the, can't even say it on YouTube. It's a little PG-13. Chris will just have to show them what this thing is called. Odd name for it. These guys are from the Netherlands. I don't think they understood the name or the connotation when they got to the United States. You should have heard what it was called before. But anyways, it's definitely gonna grab your attention if you see this at a store based on this name alone. Well, what do we like about it? Is it more than just a name? It probably has, next to the Kamado Joe, like the best spring assisted hood. Okay, so you can see all 4 of these heavy duty springs here. You can tell just by looking at it that it's a really high quality piece of equipment. It is made over there in Europe, so it's not made in China. So if you want a really good charcoal smoker that's not made in China, this is gonna have its benefits over like a Kamado Joe or something like that. Gasket material is very heavy duty. They say the quality of their ceramics are better. I'm sure they are. I haven't tested that myself, but that's what they are saying. Now, if you're gonna be doing more of a standalone unit, I think their cart is really nice. It's a really good heavy duty cart, very solidly made, and it's just like a little bit beefier than even some of the other carts we're gonna look at. Looks like a little bit higher quality material. You do get some accessories out of the box with it, and then you can see here, we have our cooking grates, we have our stainless steel charcoal basket, which is gonna sit in there like that, and then we have 2 half moon grates, and then of course there are a bunch of accessories we can buy for it. Our air controls right here. I wouldn't mind like seeing a nice little pull-out tray like the Kamado Joe, and then they have their rainproof top as well. Now this is very heavy duty, it's heavy. I don't know if it's cast iron or what, but they definitely designed it in a way and it's never in danger of falling off, even though it lifts right off. So it is a really good design. You know, we'll get to the Kamado Joe here in a minute. I do think the materials are a little bit higher quality than like a Kamado Joe, and I think the fit and finish is a little bit nicer because it's not mass produced like the Kamado Joe. And it's a color thing. You know, it's a matte black finish. I think in some lights it almost looks green, but it's definitely not green. It's like a matte black, but it has a greenish undertone to it. So if you're not a big fan of the bright red like the Kamado Joe, this would be something to consider. And if you don't want something made in China, again, this is a great guy to look at. But it is new to the market for us for this year, so we don't have a ton of hands-on experience with it. We need to get more out there, do some more field tests with them. We'll be cooking on it more and see where it lands. But as of right now, it's number 4. I think as the season progresses, it could work its way up and maybe pass some of the other ones. All right, is it time for the $12,000 smoker yet? Not yet. Let's get to number 3, baby. All right, coming in at number 3, is gonna be the tried and true Kamado Joe Classic 3. Now, I know I just said all this good stuff about this guy over here, but I'm still rating the Classic 3 higher, I think, because they just have a little bit better accessories. I still think their spring assisted hood system, latch system, is a little bit better. And they have the slow roller. So I think what you get in the box, it just comes with a little bit more. I still think it's a better overall design. And I love their little pull-out tray when you're trying to clean out your ash. The slow roller is legit. It definitely works. It is the real deal. They are a little bit more mass-produced nowadays, so I think the fit and finish isn't quite as good as this guy over here. But overall, I think just a better design. You gotta live with the red color. Actually, there's something coming in regards to this if you're not in love with the red, but you have to stay tuned to the channel for that. But this is, when this came out, this was a huge hit. I still think it's really, really hard to beat this guy. I really do. Bang for your buck, accessory-wise, design-wise, slow roller. It's just a really good product. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Should we get to number 2? Coming in number 2, is gonna be the Primo. I think pound for pound in the mainstream marketplace, as far as what you're getting dollar, you know, in the non-insane luxury category, like we're gonna talk about with the Kalamazoo, I think this is the best smoker for like the average price point, if that makes sense. Ceramic smoker, that is. Why? Well, one, it's made in the United States, so it's not made overseas. They're one of the only ones that do an oval design. I know what you're gonna say, Kamado does an oval design, but that's gonna be double the price of even the Kalamazoo. So you're talking crazy, crazy bucks there. The oval design, I think, is simply the best design because they just allows you more cooking space with a smaller footprint, and especially the kind of cooks we're doing with briskets or ribs, which sort of lend itself to the shape. It's just a better overall design shape. The oval shape also is better for offset cooking. We're gonna get more space in our cooking area to cook over here and smoke over here. Go on and on about that. I will say, I still think they make the worst cart. Now, that doesn't really have a lot to do with the Kamado itself, but if you're doing a standalone one, their all-in-one cart just simply doesn't hold up to the other ones. It's just a fact. It's just not as good. However, I think if you're buying this, you're not buying it for the cart. So you can build your own cart, or if you're building it into outdoor kitchen, that doesn't even matter. Also now they have bigger sizes. So this is the 2XL, which I think offers some of the biggest cooking spaces on the marketplace. And then it's just more of your traditional, I think the black finish kind of goes with more universal color for most outdoor kitchens. It's gonna blend a little bit better than like the red or something. You gotta really love the red on the Kamado Joe. But I think pound for pound, this is the best smoker on the marketplace. This is what I cook with at home, if that tells you anything. I cook with the Primo. Should we get to number 1? All right, coming in at number 1, is gonna be the Kalamazoo. Now, I know what you're saying, well, it's $12,000, it should be number 1. Now, obviously, If we're taking the cost of something into consideration, is it worth 12 grand? Is it worth, you know, an extra $8,000 to $10,000 compared to one of these other products? If you're shopping with a budget in mind, the answer is probably not. Am I getting $10,000 worth more of functionality? No, you're just not. So I'm gonna preface it with that. But overall, I do think it is the best cooker out there of the bunch. Now let me tell you why. So it's not using traditional ceramic like our other guys. So I think in a traditional, you know, stainless steel outdoor kitchen, this is just gonna look a lot more attractive. These are all handmade in the United States. If you order one, they're not sitting on a shelf. They're literally gonna make it for you. You can pick your colors on the stand. And it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to make one. So there's just a small factory in the Midwest making these things. The quality of the stainless steel itself, if you look at the welding materials, I think they have some of the best welding in the industry, which I showed in some of my other videos here. I mean, these are all hand polished welding lines here, and they are absolutely perfect. So if you want attention to detail with craftsmanship, that's part of what you're paying for, is how long these take to hand make here in the United States. That's part of the cost. Now the other thing is the actual design itself. So you can see how thick our body is here. Now this is packed with insulation. So when you're cooking with this outer shell stays cool to the touch. So one, that's nice because it's not ripping hot. But two, it's also nice because I would say, as efficient as ceramic is, I think this is more efficient. I think you can do a lot more longer cooks with even less charcoal. So from a functionality standpoint, that's cool. But I think the coolest is gonna be the design. So we have 2 airflow ports on the bottom and 2 on the top. So what this can do, what these guys can't, is you can cross flow your ventilation, if that makes sense. So we can allow air inlet on this side and exit here. If we're offset cooking, we can be sending the smoke this way. So we can do a little bit more with our air control, having 4 main contacts for air control. Also, what I love about the design is we always cook on this top surface. No matter what we're doing, whether we're searing, smoking, broiling, baking. What other types of cooking are there, Chris? Broil, I said broiling. Whatever you're doing, you're always cooking on the top level, which I like. Because sometimes, you know, getting down in the Kamado Joe, you're cooking near the charcoal. It's just harder, you know, trying to get a steak way down there or something that you're trying to sear. So we're always cooking on the surface, which I love. And then these all just kind of pull away. So we have our dividers here, and we basically have 3 levels. We can put our charcoal all the way down here when we're trying to smoke. And then they're all designed to just fold up out of the way. So you don't technically ever have to like fully remove anything. Or we're kind of cooking here for medium heat. So our charcoal is going to sit here for medium heat. And then when we're full-blown searing, our charcoal is going to go way up here. And we put these dividers in to help hold the charcoal in place. And of course, these laser cut heavy-duty stainless steel grates are all handmade here in the United States as well. And we can vice versa that. So we can have a little sear section here, and we can be smoking over here if we want to offset cook. But I think from a design standpoint, there's really nothing else like it on the market. And I know I'm already beating you guys to it in the comment section. You guys rip me apart when I rate the most expensive thing number 1. But this isn't just something you rate number 1 to rate number 1. This is rating it number 1 within the context of it's the best design. All right, I think it's the best functionality, but you also have to appreciate and understand the value of craftsmanship. If that's not important to you, then this probably isn't number 1. You know, quality control, all that. If you don't care about that, this isn't gonna be your number 1. If you just care about spending $1,800, $1,900 and just having a really good cooker, you're gonna wanna be looking at one of these other guys. So you have to, one, have the dough for it, But 2, you really have to appreciate and value the high quality. It's the same thing of like a supercar versus like a Nissan or something. Like, they both get you from point A to point B. Like, is your brisket gonna taste better on this because it's 12,000? Probably not. Just like my Nissan can get me to the rec center the same way my supercar can. They both get me there, right? It's just, what do you value? So if you value luxury and you value high quality craftsmanship, you're not just paying for an inflated price point because it's a luxury. There's a reason why it costs more. And that's the quality and craftsmanship put in behind it, and the design, quite frankly. There's my top 5. Let me know what you think in the comments section. We'll see you guys next time.